Caleb Wolfinger alongside my colleague Evan Patrick here, back at the Bryce Jordan Center, and Penn State was back home today, and it's kind of one of the more interesting games that the Lions have played all season. 2 losses last week, the second of which coming to Indiana in a game of crazy runs back and forth, and tonight, then the Lions established a big first half lead, and then it's 20 minutes later, we're down to the last play of the game. Miles Dredd curls around a screen. Hadn't been having success from beyond the arc all game, but he gets a little bit of space, knocks down a shot from about 3 or 4 feet beyond the three-point arc, and Penn State wins by 1 tonight, 65-64, to get back into the win column. Then the Lions are 21-7 on the year, and they've got 11 wins in the Big Ten, as Pat Chambers noted in the postgame. And if current results hold with Maryland losing, Penn State not only is tied for sole possession of second place, but would only be 1 point out of first place in the Big Ten. And that's just the kind of year it's been in this conference. This was an absolutely wild game, Evan.
Yeah, I mean, from the start, Penn State looked like they were playing their best basketball that they've been playing since Myron Jones has been out with this illness. I mean, They take an 18-point lead, 42-24, into the break. And, I mean, Rutgers just looked all out of sorts, not playing like themselves whatsoever. But then, I mean, Pat Chambers even said it. They knew that this Rutgers basketball team isn't going to just give up like that. And Rutgers comes out in the second half, outscores Penn State by 17 total points, and they brought it back very, very close in the end, but Penn State was still able to get the win. I mean, Lamar Stevens did not have his best game of the year. I mean, coming off of a 27-point performance against Indiana this past Sunday, he seemed like he was making more of a conscious effort to share the ball and not be kind of the one-man show that he's been for Penn State a lot of this year.
And that was working in the first half, and part of why was that you had guys like Seth Lundy come in and hit a couple of three-pointers off the bench, in the starting role. And then you had, Isaiah Brockington, who had his best half of the season, I think, 14 points in that first half. He went down with, we thought it was a dislocated knee at first, but ended up just being cramps, as Pat Chambers confirmed post-game, in the second half. So he ended up only playing 26 minutes, but those were, when he was on the floor, Penn State looked like the best that it's been in a while. And that spreading the ball really helped. But then the Lions, as Rutgers made that run in the second half, they got a little tight, and in the end, came down to that one play. Dredd makes the shot. They say the NBA is a make or miss league. That goes the same thing for college basketball. Sometimes the shots go in, sometimes they don't. And tonight, the biggest one of the game, and maybe one of the biggest ones of the season so far, went in for Penn State. And then the Lions are going to need that momentum when they head to take on Iowa on Saturday in Iowa City. It should be a very difficult game. But until then, make sure to follow us on social media and at collegian.psu.edu for all of our continuing coverage throughout the night.